Hi there, this is Anna Prosser for Kingston HyperX covering MLG Raleigh 2011 with Geoff.iNcontroL Robinson. How are you doing, Geoff?
Good.
We're actually back in the EG Lair after the Raleigh tournament. How are you feeling about the results of that tournament, Geoff?
As a team, I'm very happy with everybody. Muslim and Puma had a great run, and then some other players won some really good and important matches, but for me personally, it was a disappointing tournament.
How so?
I went 0-10 in the group play for the second tournament in a row. Well, I went 1-10 a long time before, but it's not much of an improvement, obviously. Which is very disappointing. Anytime Evil Genius goes to a tournament, they don't anticipate getting blanked like that. So I was able to play some pretty good games, but I made a lot of mistakes, and I have a lot of work ahead of me.
Well, a lot of people have been asking the question, you know, we have Koreans at MLG now, and we're seeing a top 6 that's completely Korean, and many are asking, you know, if the Koreans weren't here, how would we be performing? Is that even a relevant question, and would it affect the standings of the tournament?
I mean, of course it would affect the standings of the tournament, but it's not a relevant question at all. I mean, it'd be like asking, what if the best pitchers in baseball didn't exist in MLB? It wouldn't be MLB.
So it's a good thing that we've got Koreans coming over to these North American tournaments now.
Yeah.
Great. Well, what are you planning to do now to move forward toward the next MLG?
I have more time to prepare. We have all September and then a majority of October to prepare. So I'm going to sit down with Puma, play a lot of games to Muslim, and just make sure my head's in the right place for the next tournament.
Well, you're the captain of Team EG, and you're in charge of, well, tell me a little bit about what you're in charge of doing for the team.
It's just a leadership role, so I just make sure that all the guys are prepared for the tournaments, they're signed up, they're ready to go. If someone's having problems, I'm kind of the guy that's in charge of going and talking to them, making sure they get through it. And then I do a little bit of extra like scouting around for information on other players and stuff like that.
So in terms of practice schedule, do you arrange that? And if so, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yep, the players play 4-hour blocks twice a day, so 8 hours total. But we all like to play StarCraft so much that it ends up being like 10 or 12 hours a day. But make sure that there's at least 4-hour blocks of structured practice.
And what do you mean by structured practice?
4 hours of recreational play where we play the ladder and stream, and then 4 hours of CGs where we custom game with each other.
What do those custom games usually do for you?
They allow us to practice with higher level people and make sure that we're working on build orders and that kind of stuff.
Okay. And personally, what are you thinking you're going to be focusing on in the next coming weeks?
Just making sure that my head's in the right place and going into the next tournament more prepared to build orders and working on my mechanics, that kind of stuff.
I've heard a lot of talk among all of the StarCraft pros saying that if you have a bad day in the morning and your mind's not in the right place, that's going to affect your play, and that could mean the end of a tournament for somebody. Do you agree with that? And if so, how do you go about making sure you're mentally prepared for a tournament?
It's a very mental game, so anytime you're worried about something or preoccupied mentally with something else, then you're not going to perform as well. It's not like it's a physical game like football where sure the mental aspect is extremely important, but at the end of the day you're still hitting your body against somebody else's. In StarCraft 2 it's all mind and very little body, so as far as like what you can do to make sure that doesn't happen, I mean that's a $64,000 question. I think if people knew exactly how to prepare their minds for all these tournaments, then they wouldn't lose. But there's just ways to mitigate it, like making sure that you are calm and at peace and not letting drama get to you and that kind of stuff.
One thing you've mentioned that makes you feel good is that fan interaction and fan support. That's something that you've been really vocal about. How has that been at MLG Raleigh? Were the fans supportive, and did they help you get through?
They're extremely supportive, and they're really good. They're really chill in Raleigh. I think it might have been partly because everyone's tired and a little bit wary of the storm, but yeah, they were good. I wouldn't say they necessarily helped me compete, because if anything, the best place to play StarCraft is in a dark room by yourself. So it's not to say that they didn't help or hurt my performance, but I wouldn't attribute a special performance to them.
Well, it seems like Team EG has a lot of fun at these tournaments, no matter how they perform. Did you have fun at Raleigh, and if so, what were some of the highlights?
I tried to have fun, but like I said, I was very disappointed with the tournament, and more preoccupied with the fact that I wasn't succeeding in that way. But it was nice to interact with Puma and do some videos with him and stuff.
You mentioned some videos. You did get a little bit goofy with Greg in an interview where you switched personas. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we switched personas. What do you want me to say?
Well, was it fun?
Yeah, it's always fun to tease around.
And did you think that Greg's interpretation of you was pretty spot on?
It was much better than my impression of him, that's for sure.
All right, well, moving forward, what are you looking forward to in the coming days, coming weeks? What's motivating you right now?
well, I'm always motivated by StarCraft, but in the next month or two, I'm going to be taking a vacation to clear my mind, make sure that I'm rested for the next tournament, and then other than that, it's just practice.
We are in the EG Lair right now. Has that helped you? Can you give us a little bit of insight into what it's like to live in a training facility like this?
It's just day in, day out StarCraft, waking up amongst other players and making sure that we're getting ourselves in the place to compete at the highest level. And it's a lot of fun. They're all my friends. I have been for years, so it's pretty much living the dream. But at the same time, it's added anxiety because it's a big investment, so you can't take it for granted.
Well, that investment has been made by numerous sponsors, one of whom is Kingston HyperX, who's allowed me to do these interviews with you. I'd like to personally thank them. Are there any other sponsors or shout-outs that you'd like to give before we sign off?
Just all the people that make it possible: Intel, Monster Energy, Steel Series, Kingston HyperX, Bigfoot Networks, Expo Gaming, Inwin, who we recently just signed. Just everybody that makes it possible for us to travel around and compete with StarCraft. Very fortunate to have all of them supporting us. And yeah, thanks to everyone tuning in.
All right. Thanks a lot, and best of luck as you train for your next MLG.
Thanks.